Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Lollipop Chainsaw playthrough. It is time to face down at our first Dark Purveyor, which actually, to be fair, is arguably my favourite of all the Dark Purveyors, which is kind of sad, but it's just because it's such a well-built up boss fight. I think it's the most effective in the grand scheme of things. And there we go, there he is, Zed, who is voiced by Jimmy Urine, who's a relatively famous American singer-songwriter, who's best known as the lead singer and programmer of electropunk band Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Welcome to the mosh pit! Zombie hunting sleaze! Yeah!
And it's just quite cool, because he essentially did, I believe, all of the boss themes, and they are, well, most of them are glorious. In particular, I do love Zed's song. And actually, so here we go. We've got some references and trivia relating to Zed. So, Zed is the name of the statistic security guard from Quentin Tarantino's film Pulp Fiction. And there's also a trophy and achievement slash you get for killing him, which is called Zed Dead. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Which references a line used by Bruce Willis. Well, Bruce Willis's Butch College, after, well, referring to said guy. Then there's a few attacks that he uses which are similar to other characters. His whole giant letters gimmick could possibly be a reference to the music video for Mindless Self-Indulgence's song Mark David Chapman. So that's a potential thing. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of references involved with him that's quite cool.
Your face gonna be a sweet
but he's such a foul mouth. I mean, it is part of what made me quite like his character, because he's a foul mouth, and his foul mouth is part of his attack, and it's just quite gloriously ludicrous. Like, there's just no reason for any of this to be a thing, and yet it is, and therefore I just find it so glorious.
big show!
Fuck! What a douchebag! Quit destroying shit.
Now, I should actually point out that whenever we're facing the cars, if you do not follow the quick time events quick enough, you will die. But thankfully, most of the quick time events, they give you more than enough time to deal with things, so you should be fine with that. And it's annoying how short some of the boss fights can be, because they are, as usual, in a Suda 51 game, they're kind of part of the best bits. Some are definitely better than others. Zed clearly being one of my favourites. The others falling somewhere in between. But they are certainly a visual highlight throughout the game. And that's very typical Suda 51. Like, very typical Suda 51. All of the bosses in this game are very memorable, and I can certainly appreciate the game for this.
Probably took him 3 hours to spike his mohawk this morning. Needy much?
And I do love Juliet's put-downs for these guys, because they're just so sassy, and it's great.
I'm gonna crush your face!
And also, this cutscene has one of my favourite jokes ever! Well, favourite jokes ever in this game, shall we say.
torturing small animals? What kind of whack job waterboards Chip and Dale? That
Oh,
guy
there it
is
is.
the most uncoolest dude
Oh,
ever.
I live for that joke. And here we go, we're into the fight. Now, Zed is not that difficult. It's just a case of dodging out the way, homing in on him, and not trying to use up a nick ticket because that's ridiculous. And there are moments where he stops moving, that's when you bring out your heavy chainsaw attacks. You get behind him and bits like that. Zed's not difficult, but he is a lot of fun. And the other cool thing about the majority of the boss fights, there's two, I believe, there's two that definitely don't apply to it, and one which goes further in its length. But most of the boss fights fit a 3-stage thing. So you'll whack down one health bar, do a finishing move, they'll put themselves back together, time for stage 2, get through that, next stage, and the music changes in each phase. So it feels somewhat adaptive in that sense. It's not majorly adaptive, but it is just it's really effective because you feel, as you are progressing through the fight, the music's progressing with you and keeps changing as you keep going, and it's just really satisfying to play through. Now, during this particular segment, there is an achievement for dodging his blades in a certain, it's like you can launch a quick time event, I believe. But unfortunately I didn't get that to really happen during this run of the fight. And I mean, to be fair, that's fine, because I'm just rolling with this and having an absolute blast, because I do really like this fight. It's just so satisfying. And also, Zed, you can call me a vanilla slut all you like. It's not going to affect us, Light Dog. And just, like, I just can't say how fun this fight is. I think the reason that I enjoyed it so much was because I wasn't really expecting it, and then the fact that it did have the 3 stages and the music changed on each phase, and it just worked. Everything came together in this moment for me, and I did actually think I am really enjoying what I'm doing here. And also, there was really no need for me to try and bring up a nicked ticket here, because it's not going to do me any good, because a quick time event happened almost immediately and kicks us out of the nicked ticket, which is fine, because to be fair, it was being more of a nuisance than anything else. But yes, the only thing that I do wish is that this fight lasted longer, because it's very easy to take down Zed's life bar without much difficulty. I suppose I could have played on a harder difficulty, but that would have made other bits a lot worse. Because these are not the bits that are difficult. These are the bits that I wish were more challenging, but it's the bits that are more gimmicky, that end up being really hard, that I cannot be bothered to deal with on harder difficulties. And take this, Zed. You are done for. And, oh, I love that very cheap blood splatter effect. It's just so cheap, but it's glorious.
Juliet! You did it!
Mr. Morikawa.
Sensei!
You managed to purify one of the dark purveyors.
Yes.
Look at this. Zed was only the weakest of the dark purveyors. But the other four are here, rotting the school. By now, they've probably transformed all your fellow students into undead. The school is probably filled with zombies.
Sensei!
Mr. Morikawa.
Juliet and Nick, I have faith you can stop them. All humans must die, as I must now too.
Sensei, no! Don't leave!
Oh, I have this for you, Juliet. Happy birthday, Juliet. You were always my favorite pupil.
Sensei! Oh my gosh! Thanks, Sensei! Chainsaw Dash!
Now that's a sweet ride.
And so, with the death of Morikawa Sensei, that is the end of stage 1, and booyah! A+. Beautiful.
I love it.
Perfect!